What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Miles, and if you like crypto airdrops, you have come to the right place, because in today's video, I am going to be running you guys through the lay of the land when it comes to crypto airdrops in August 2023, talk about the latest updates that we have gotten from LayerZero and zkSync, as well as revealing some of my favorite airdrops that I'm not seeing anyone talk about online, but they probably should be, because I believe they have potential to be great gainers in the airdrop space this year and beyond. So if you are new to the channel, make sure you click the subscribe button and click the post notification bell so you don't miss a single video. And of course, I will be keeping you updated over the next few months on the best airdrop opportunities in the market over on my Twitter, but also more importantly with these longer form guides here on YouTube. So without further ado, let's go through 5 of the airdrops that I'm currently watching and give you some major updates slash alpha in the realm of crypto airdrops. The first thing I want to touch on is LayerZero, because I did a video about that last week. If you guys have been watching the channel and following my Twitter, you would know that LayerZero is one of my favorite airdrops to currently farm at the moment. For the last 6 to 8 months, I've been farming LayerZero, even dating back as far as October last year when I did one of my first threads. LayerZero, I believe, will be one of the biggest crypto airdrops, and although you were pretty late to it now compared to if you were watching and consuming my content back then, I don't think it is fully still too late to get some sort of slice of the LayerZero pie. We do see over the last few days, Binance has officially launched the ZRO token on their dashboard, just another indicator that we are getting a token. It's one of the most heavily backed projects in crypto, and if you want to get involved with this airdrop, I urge you to watch a video which I will link in the description. It's my second latest video on the channel where I go through some of the individual steps to complete a LayerZero airdrop and some of the steps that I am personally doing, keeping in mind that this late you probably won't get the full airdrop compared to the very beginning, but in my opinion it's still positive EV to interact with LayerZero dApps, applications, and get involved. CC2 Ventures has been an amazing page on Twitter to stay updated with LayerZero. If you're not following him, I highly recommend doing so, and he actually did a tweet yesterday which was massive news for anyone that was going for the LayerZero airdrop. Now, as someone that's going for the LayerZero airdrop, you could argue that even sharing this, and him especially, would be kind of going against his own philosophy, because it's diluting the airdrop if more people use this platform. But I'm a believer in sharing alpha, so I want to share this with you guys and make sure you know about it. And what this is a product called Merkley, which allows you to tick off on a checklist all your LayerZero steps to make sure you have not missed anything. So this dashboard essentially allows you to view your progress when it comes to Stargate voting, LayerZero interaction, the amount of days and weeks that you spent on the platform, the time-weighted LP, to give you an idea about how you sit for a LayerZero airdrop. So if you are going for the LayerZero airdrop, I highly recommend checking out Merkley. This isn't a sponsored video at all. I just thought this was absolute alpha from CC2. Once again, he's actually on the leaderboard for the LayerZero airdrop, but he's still sharing great alpha like this with his viewers, probably knowing that by sharing this, he's diluting his airdrop supply even more. But, you know, community comes over personal profit. So, you know, it's a great job for him for sharing that resource. So, apart from LayerZero, that is the obvious one. Let's get into some of the less obvious ones, but still starting fairly broadly with the Arkham airdrop. Now, last week, Arkham did what was probably the most unexpected, biggest airdrop of 2023 that I missed out on personally, where basically they are a product, right? So they are essentially a blockchain monitoring service similar to Nansen, who will scrub the blockchain to give you on-chain intelligence. You can see in front of you, they give you data on what funds are doing with their fund flow. They also give you certain wallets so you can track them, look at maps to see the flow of funds from exchanges. It's very, very cool. It gives you lots of data. And I've actually been a fan and talked about this over on the Crypto Banter, where I stream every day. And also I've done a little bit of Arkham stuff on Twitter. However, I didn't expect that referrers of Arkham Access Pass links would be receiving such a large airdrop. If you actually shared your Arkham early access link and someone signed up via that link, for every single sign up, you would have gotten $220 That is absolutely crazy. You can see it on the screen in front of you. 219.86 was the average profit per airdrop receiver. If we do the breakdown, the average profit versus the total amount of receivers equals out to be around $200. It's actually 197 to be precise, but you know, for all intents and purposes, it's around the mark of the average airdrop receiver per referee. So essentially, it's around $200 per referral link. That's absolutely insane. I mean, we haven't seen a referral-based airdrop of this size in quite some time. And one of my biggest friends in the space, Thor, he actually received 130,000. This is public info because his wallet was public off this airdrop. Congratulations to him, by the way. Absolutely insane. But what does this tell us about airdrops if you missed the Arkham airdrop? Well, what it tells us is the validity of these referral link-based programs. So if you were doubting the power of having a social media platform in crypto, I think this Arkham Intelligence airdrop will make you think otherwise. Now, this doesn't just mean having a social media and posting about your link specifically. It also means the power of using social media to share your link, even if you're just sharing it with family and friends. If you'd shared this Arkham Intelligence link with just 10 family and friends, even if you don't have a big Twitter profile and they signed up, you still would have received around $2,000. That's still absolutely crazy. And for people like Thor with big followings who posted their link, as you see in front of you here on April 3rd, he was receiving a much bigger payday. And we see other creators as well receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was a crazy airdrop. I, from a personal perspective, was even a little bit salty that I missed out on the airdrop because it was just so juicy and I had the opportunity to work with Arkham. In fact, I noticed they had sent me a DM to my Twitter inbox that I didn't even read because I was so busy, that was offering me my own referral link, and I didn't respond to their DM, and I probably could have made hundreds of thousands as well if I posted it, but I didn't, and I don't regret that decision necessarily, because, you know, I was on holiday and I just didn't see it, but part of me does, really, part of me is like woken up to this referral-based airdrop stuff and realized the power of it, and I think a lot of other people have as well. So what's next in the referral-based airdrop, kind of subsector here? Well, there are a couple new applications launching. I did notice Velo Data is now entering their early access phase. They are also launching a pilot referral program. So this could be one platform if they end up launching a token that does something similar to Arkham. I'm not saying they'll be paying $200 per recipient like Arkham did. I mean, that's pretty much unfathomable, but you know, even $10, $20, $30, that's still really, really good. To be honest, even $1 per referral is, by most world standards, still a pretty good amount if you look at the social media marketing world. So 200 was just absolutely insane. But yeah, Velo is an upcoming one that I would just keep my eye on. Once again, I don't know if they're doing an airdrop. I don't know if they're having a token, but this is an example of a new product that you can look into that could have a referral program that actually pays out an airdrop in the future. But definitely watch this crypto product referral space for airdrop opportunities. It's something I'm now paying attention to after missing out on Arkham. I'm sure most of you guys missed out on it as well, but for the ones that got it, congratulations, you freaking smashed it. It was terrific. All right, next major airdrop I do want to talk about, then we've got some like smaller ones I want to talk about at the end, is zkSync. I want to give you a quick update here. Am I still farming zkSync? Yes, once again, like LayerZero, I did start more towards Q3, Q4 last year. I did lots of threads on it at the time, but I did do an updated guide in March this year on my Twitter. If you just search into Twitter, Miles Deutscher zkSync, it should come up as a guide. I'll also leave any necessary resources in the description below so you have them. zkSync still what I'm going for. Like LayerZero, still working on fulfilling the requirements. I do believe that this one will actually land later than LayerZero. I think we've seen things being pushed back slightly due to A, market conditions, and 2, just the readiness of the protocol itself. Of course, we did go from the testnet over to the mainnet. A lot of you have used the mainnet. If you have been, great job. I would keep going with that because that's going to be one of the major airdrop requirements, just using the dApps in their ecosystem, bridging funds on chain, building up some trading volume and doing it consistently. Pretty much that's the blueprint for any L1, L2 airdrop, but especially one with a mainnet like zkSync. It's pretty obvious how to get an airdrop. They just want to see that you're genuinely interacting over time with the platform. You can do this with multiple wallets too, but just take note that if you do it with too many wallets, you might be classified as a Cybele, like we saw on Arbitrum. Any wallet over the 20 per person mark actually ended up paid out for an Arbitrum airdrop. So just, you know, don't do this on a mass scale and be obvious about it. But if you do want to, you know, play around on a few different wallets, I think that's also fine as well. And zkSync last year in October 2022 said that they were going to unveil their token details in early November, and they never did. They pushed it back, and then earlier this month, last month, sorry, in July, we saw them allude to a token launch that I mentioned in this video as well. I would recommend watching that video, link in the description once again, because that video has all the details on zkSync, because I don't want to go too technical in today's video. I'm giving you the major updates today. If you want the more technical stuff, in the last video, I went through some of the steps that you can look at for the ZK or ZK, if you're from America, I say zkSync airdrop, which, yeah, I'm excited for, and I'm still actively farming. So let's just summarize what we've talked about so far. We've got LayerZero, which I'm still going for, still very bullish on it as one of my favorite airdrops in crypto. We have the referral-based airdrops that we are now learning are super powerful through the Arkham airdrop. That's something to watch, so Velo might be one to watch in that category. Next, you've got zkSync. I'm still going, you know, full steam ahead with my zkSync interactions, and with some of these protocols that are now coming out that allow you to track your activity, like we saw with the tracker. That is really helpful. Because it's going to allow us to monitor our progress over time on an application versus using something like an Excel spreadsheet. So those are the main ones, but now let's get into some of the smaller ones, because there are some airdrops, as I mentioned earlier, that aren't being talked about as much, but given the fact they take pretty much a little amount of time, a little amount of money, a little amount of effort, but have potentially a big reward, I believe a lot of these are plus EV to complete. So the first one I want to talk about is Meld Finance. They are an official partner of the show, so thank you for partnering with Meld Finance. They are actually doing an airdrop though. So what they are essentially is the ultimate kind of non-custodial DeFi bank protocol for Web3 finance. So they're going to have cross-chain lending, borrowing, staking, fiat banking, all done in a non-custodial on-chain fashion that allows you to maintain transparency that you wouldn't get with a traditional banking service, but also allow you to access cross-chain collateral lending, borrowing, DeFi farms. It's very cool. Think of it, if that's too complicated for you, as the ultimate DeFi bank in crypto. So the product itself is good, but on the airdrop side, we want to focus on the potential here to get an airdrop. They are running an airdrop campaign at the moment that they announced a month ago that you're not too late to get involved in. So if you want to get involved with a Meld airdrop, and this is one that I think will be, you know, in the millions of dollars range, you can click the link in the description below to this tweet. This has all the steps that you will need to complete a Meld airdrop. The most important thing though is going to be signing up for the early access pass. If you aren't signed up for the early access pass, very unlikely you're going to get an airdrop, regardless of whether you do the other steps like interacting with them on social media or any of the other things like the social tasks, referrals, etc. If you aren't actually signed up for the platform, going to be very hard for you to get an airdrop. So to sign up for the platform, I have left a link in the description. It's the first link that says use this link to sign up for a Meld access pass. If you click on this, you can simply enter in your email and your name and sign up for an access pass, which will allow you to use their product when it first launches. So you'll be one of the first people to use Meld, but you will also be in the running to receive an airdrop. So once you've done that, what are some of the next steps you can look at? Well, the next steps are all either on-chain or on social media. And I think the easiest way for most people to complete this is simply to go over to their Zealy quest board, which I'll also link in the description, and start completing some of the tasks. They want to look for people just like zkSync, just like LayerZero, that are genuinely interacting with their application, but also their presence on social media. So you can complete simple quests in their quest board, like following them on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Discord, Telegram, YouTube, and tweeting about the Meld airdrop. They also have a campaign at the moment, which is Be Your Own Bank. Essentially, you want to take a photo of you holding up a Be Your Own Bank sign, as you see below here, many creative posts, and just hashtag them and also tag them. So hashtag Be Your Own Bank at Meld DeFi. This is one of the quests that you can complete. And I think that also will help with the airdrop requirements as well. They do want to favor people that are interacting with them on social media. But of course, you will need the early access pass as the main requirement. So link in the description if you want to sign up there and potentially qualify for the Meld Airdrop. Hopefully it is a good one when they launch. I've seen lots of buzz about them on social media, which is great. I just want to remind you though, they are an official partner of the channel. Of course, I only take on products that I genuinely believe in. And as someone that believes in the power of decentralized finance, it does make sense as a product to me that I would personally use. So I gave that one the stamp of Mars Deutscher approval. Let's get on with the rest of the video here and look at some of the other airdrops. One is Linear. I've been hearing a lot of talk about this recently. They have made some big moves, especially on the funding side. If you actually look at their latest funding round, it was absolutely massive. $727 million in funding at a $2.3 billion valuation. That is more funding than zkSync. That is more funding than LayerZero. That is more funding than Starknet. It's absolutely insane the amount of funding that Linear is getting. It's obviously backed by MetaMask. And we know that crypto funding is one of the greatest prerequisites for airdrop size. The reason why I love LayerZero, the reason why I've been going for zkSync is because they have big funding, which subsequently means they have more ammunition to do a larger airdrop. The Arbitrum airdrop was big because the overall market cap was big. And when you have a project with a large valuation pre-launch, pre-token sale, that is an indicator. Now, it's not always true, but it's usually an indicator that the project's market cap size will be big when it launches. And in percentage terms, whatever airdrop is denominated from that overall market cap obviously is going to be bigger because it scales with the size of the project. So Linear, one that has an absolutely massive funding round and valuation, going slightly under the radar in terms of airdrop potential here, in my opinion. If you want to know what it is, it's essentially an EVM layer that basically scales Ethereum. So I would view it as kind of like your L2 that allows the deployment of already existing applications, although it's done a little bit different because it has a community focus and allows you to use dApps at a fraction of the cost and much faster than the EVM, of course. So it's essentially a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum, but doing things a little bit differently, has the MetaMask backing. Now you're probably thinking, Miles, how do I get an airdrop? Well, luckily for you, someone, and this wasn't me, I will give credit to the user, it was Leshka_ETH, put in a lot of work here to give you a full guide. Now, I haven't done all of the steps in this guide personally. I would obviously do my own research to work out whether this guide is along the right path. By all reports, by all research that I've seen, this guide's pretty much in line with what I've seen from other creators in the space. But just keep in mind, always do your own research before you complete any on-chain tasks. But this guide, I think, gives you just a rough overview of how to get started with Linear if you're completely in the dark about it. The first thing is you can bridge over from the Ethereum mainnet. You can connect to some of the dApps on the platform, for example, Orbiter, which you can use. Actually, Orbiter is a bridge, so you can actually bridge over their L2 bridge from Ethereum over to Linear. You can actually see it here. Bridge funds from ETH to Linear, so you have funds on the platform that you can use. Then you've got an application like Symbiosis, which is essentially a DEX on the platform, which allows you to swap tokens like USDT. So you'll be able to swap tokens on the platform to build up some trading volume. We know how important that was for the Arbitrum airdrop. Then you've also got SyncSwap, another exchange that's actually across zkSync as well, also deploying on the Linear L2 that you can use. Izumi, this is another protocol on the platform that you can take advantage of. It's essentially a yield-bearing platform that allows you to swap for the IUSD token. This might be something that interests you. Linear Bank as well, which is their lending, I think it's a borrowing and lending platform. I haven't looked into it. Let's have a look here. Yeah, it's essentially going to be your standard money market. Every L2 and L1 needs a money market. And then you've also got Swirl here, which is I think also another money market as well. So there's multiple applications on the platform. The most important thing here is just bridge money onto Linear. If you're trying to go for the airdrop, interact with some of the dApps, do some swaps on their DEXs, maybe borrow some Ethereum, repay the loan, do this consistently, use multiple applications, and keep your eye out for new apps because I'm sure there are some that aren't here that are also very good to use. Once again, just like LayerZero, what these protocols are looking for is consistent interactions over time, volume built up over time. If we look at Arbitrum as kind of your prerequisite for what the requirements can be in this space, and they want real users that are interacting with the platform. If you do this, you're a good chance to get an airdrop, and Linear's an interesting one because they don't have a token, they have a lot of funding, but not that many people are talking about them. Let's do a quick run through some of the others. Very quick mentions to some of the honorable mentions in this video. Zeta Chain, one I mentioned earlier in the year, but this is still an airdrop that I think you can go for. It's essentially a decentralized smart contract platform built with omni-chain interoperability in mind, kind of like LayerZero, but a little bit different. They're trying to essentially support a multi-chain ecosystem, trying to like replace that major bridge layer by having native consensus. So it's an interesting project and one that doesn't have a token yet that could have an airdrop. If you want the steps, Chemix did a good thread. They've put all the steps here on testnet assets, the Galaxy campaign and the Zilli campaign. It's actually fairly simple right now because there's not that much to do on chain, to be completely honest with you. Scroll is another one. I talked about this one in the past, but this is still one to keep your eye on. They're going to essentially be a ZK EVM product, so another layer 2 product. So many new products getting funding in the ETH ecosystem. As a side note, if you look at this funding chart that I mentioned before, how many of these are actually ETH scaling solutions? I mean, let's just go through the list. 1, 2, 3, the top 3 are 4, LayerZero isn't, 5, Starknet is, 6, OP, Arbitrum, Scroll. I mean, more than half the list of the biggest funded projects in crypto are actually ETH scaling solutions. That just shows that the VCs, they're betting on ETH. So the smart money, they're betting on ETH. There's not many non-ETH bets. Now, there are some VCs obviously betting aggressively on other new platforms like Aptos, like Sui, like Solana, but the majority of the capital, if we think in percentage terms here, it is going towards ETH. So it's just more affirmation that the ETH ecosystem is becoming more robust. I'm a big bull, obviously, in ETH as an asset. It's probably my biggest crypto holding alongside Bitcoin. But it just gives more validation to kind of your ETH/L2 thesis here, which is playing out right in front of our eyes. And it's interesting to see where the funding is going. But where the funding goes is also where the airdrops often go. So you've got Scroll as another one in that space as well. And I don't want to confuse you anymore in today's video, so I'm going to leave it there with the airdrops. So to summarize, we've got LayerZero, we've got Arkham referral-based airdrops, which I want you to research in your own time and keep your eye out for so you don't miss the next opportunity there. You've got zkSync, you've got Meld, who are an official partner of the show. By the way, if you want a Meld Early Access Pass, link in the description. You'll need that to qualify for an airdrop, and then you can complete the social quest to put yourself in a better position alongside actually using the dApp when it launches. That's going to be probably another requirement. What else have we got here? We have, of course, Linear as one of the more underrated ones, in my opinion, and then you've also got ZetaChain, and you've also got Scroll as well. There are many other airdrops. I just don't want to confuse you in today's video with 10 or 20. Sometimes just really knuckling down on a few, 2 or 3 airdrops that you've got high conviction in can be the best way to go. Because look, if you're like me and you've got a lot of time in crypto, like I'm basically full-time crypto, and you can do 10 airdrops, like why not? It's a pretty plus EV thing to do because you're not spending much money or time, but you are potentially getting huge rewards. I don't see the downside, but if you've got limited time, because I know most of you probably have jobs, work, maybe you're at school or university, you might be studying, and you don't have that much time, I think it's better just to be consistent with a few than inconsistent with many. It's kind of like life, right? You want to focus and really hone in on becoming an expert at 1 or 2 things rather than a jack of all trades. I'm a firm believer in developing, 1 or 2 really strong skills in life, but also in crypto. So if you have to niche down and focus on something, I would just focus on a few, pick the ones out of this video you like. Maybe you've seen another somewhere else as well. And if I've missed anything, let me know in the comments below. If I've missed an amazing airdrop in today's show that you really, really like and I should cover, let me know and I'll look to cover it in another video. So I think we are pretty much good for now. If there's another major update, I'll keep you updated. So make sure you're subscribed and have the post notifications on. And until the next one, I will see you later. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.